So I'm Dane, and
My name is Jen.
and we are directors of a US-based nonprofit called Happiness Data. It's not very big in a structural sense. It's just something that I put a little money into every month in order to help planetary issues, to learn and grow data on what makes people happy. And the reason that we're making this video for Filipinos is that Jen has made an enormous contribution to inspiring me, teaching me, etc., and helping to form Happiness Data. And we think that Filipinos can be a really great ally in making happiness data more impactful, in having a positive impact worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of things that I want to address in this video because I want to offer a pathway that might be a good fit for you in some ways. And the first step of that pathway is Jen taught me about a lot of the religious, sexual, and family abuse that goes on in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So what are some of the abuses that you are aware of as being pretty common in the Philippines?
Let's see. It's about the how much you need to obey your parents, whether you like it or not. It's a part of the religion. Let's say it's policy. So, as a child, you have you need to respect your parents, but you have also to abuse yourself according to please your parents, or do whatever do whatever they want you to do. And so even though you are not agree with it, even though how you are against with it, they don't care about your feelings, and they want you to do things. So
And that's great when you have good, well-informed, healthy parents. But when you have poor parents without a lot of global literacy around, what makes for a healthy future for a child, in the 10 years that I've spent visiting the Philippines, I've seen a lot of abuse by parents, by the government, and by the Catholic Church in a way that makes Filipinos feel small and unimportant, rather than as equal human beings that have a right to create a beautiful future for themselves. So I want to begin by focusing and starting with you. I've met very few Filipinos who have not experienced some form of strong suffering, and it's painful just to watch people around you deal with suffering, dishonesty, etc. So the first step that I want to encourage you to do, and the first step that Jen did when we met, was to start to write a private diary about what's going on and how you feel about what's going on. When there's a lot of pain and suffering, it's very normal and natural for the feelings to be, anger, hurt, fear, hatred, frustration, stress, panic, helplessness. These are normal feelings when you're in a traumatic and difficult reality.
Yeah, okay. I didn't get it.
Yeah. So, what are some of the feelings that you have, Jen, about your childhood and past?
Well, there's a lot of things happening in my life, but one of those is hopelessness and trying to kill myself or hoping to die. That's where I will be free all of my feelings, and but because of those feelings unwanted and my family they criticize me for having that, um, so I choose to put myself first and feel my own freedom, uh, to see my true self.
So that's been a long and difficult journey for Jen, making it through teenage years and younger life. But the most important thing to understand is that if you want to die sometime, or if you have painful or scary or angry feelings, this is not your fault. This is normal. The heart is a scientific instrument. So if you have a disgusting reality out there, parents criticizing and complaining and making you feel small, then your heart accurately reads that reality. It's like a thermometer. If the weather is 30 degrees, then the thermometer reads 30 degrees. If the weather is 20 degrees, the thermometer reads 20 degrees. If your heart is filled with anger and hurt, it's because there's a lot of angry and hurtful things happening around you. The heart is an instrument. And so it takes some time, probably around 18 months or so of practicing and learning to think kindly about yourself. And it's very difficult when the church, the culture, and your parents are all telling you it's your fault. It's not your fault. If you were born into a healthy, nurturing family with a religion that focused more on taking care of the child than on saying you should obey your parents, even if your parents are beating you, hurting you, that's not kind to the child. And the child is the small one. The parents are giants. They have the money, the power. And so a healthy culture and religion doesn't try and protect the parents. It tries to protect you, because you're the one that's growing. You're the one that needs help. You are the future. So, so talk about some of the steps that you took to reach this point, starting when we met.
I start to separate for those who abuse me mentally.
So number one, separate from people who are hurting and abusing you if possible.
Disconnecting to them and in contacts or talking to them.
Yeah, Jen's family tried to gossip with her when she's separating, that she's a prostitute, that she's a gold digger, all kinds of bullshit. Just to make Jen feel bad that she's growing and learning about her future. And so Jen disconnected from Facebook so that she doesn't have to listen to the insults of her family. What else?
And yeah, I'm putting my growing and my learning with Dane.
Yeah, but what did you do every day to grow and learn?
By my diary.
And what did you put in your diary?
My thoughts and feelings.
Thoughts, feelings, and what
And,
happened?
and my learning and what happened, what I think,
And your dreams?
my dreams, and what I think about my dreams, my learning about my dreams. Yeah, what is the meaning of my dreams?
And what else? How did you communicate how much something affected you?
I have a night. If I have a nightmare, I have my tantrums. I cannot sleep. My body's itch. My legs get numb, and I'm irritated. Yeah,
So
that's
so
feedback. My
one
feedback of
yeah.
my dreams.
So you've got the feedback from your body, but Jen also I taught Jen how to use a 1 to 10 scale.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's feeling angry, I ask her how much. Is it 10%, 20%, or 90% angry at that moment? Or 1 to 10. 10 is 100, fully angry. And this helps. So the other thing that Jen did is she shared her diary with me so that I could help her to feel proud of her feelings. And you may not have a friend that you can do that with, in which case it's not good to share your diary. You want to share it with someone who will, 1, not gossip, 2, put you first, 3, support and respect and understand your feelings as accurate information about what's happening. So this is about the diary. And what else do you do when you get up that helps you feel good?
I do my meditation and my yoga.
So I taught Jen a basic meditation that helped me when I was young, which is to go back to a time in your past when you felt scared and lonely and no one was there for you. Maybe you're a 1-year-old, maybe you're 5 years old, maybe you're 10 years old. It doesn't matter. Find some part of you that feels helpless and lonely in the past, that feels shocked or cannot feel anything. And go to that part of you. Ask for help. Pray. Ask for help. It doesn't matter if you ask for help from an angel, from Jesus, from God, from Goddess. Ask for help. There's many consciousness and beings in the whole universe that love to help people. And when you ask them, please help me to love and heal my wounds in the past, it creates a possibility for their support. But also you can go back and help. And you can go back to your 5-year-old and say, look, you're only 5 years old. It's not your fault. You're not an adult. You should have a good, strong parents and culture, but instead you are being blamed. So I will comfort you. You can imagine loving your inner child, your inner adolescent, every morning. This is what Jen did. And it really helped our relationship because when Jen loves her little child inside, she's happier. She understands that the abuse that happened to her in her life is not her fault. So then she's happier. It's fun to be with someone who loves herself. And it really supported our relationship to grow. And so I want to encourage you to, 1, watch YouTube videos. You can type a subject, Healing the Inner Child, Loving the Inner Child. To also educate yourself about abuse. What is trauma? You can watch all these on YouTube. What is trauma? What is child abuse? What is a healthy way to raise children who love themselves? What is a healthy way to talk with someone? What is shame? What is sexual abuse? You can learn about what things are, and you can write comments on YouTube about some of your experience, and also read other comments. Now, YouTube is not a very healthy environment. There's many cruel and abusive people on YouTube. And so try to be sensitive to confidential information, because some people do insult you online, and it's not your fault. They are just rude people. And but there's other people, when I write about my abuse, other people tell me they care about my feelings, and thank you for telling them. And this is valuable to have, to understand that there are good people in the world. Some in the Philippines, some in America, some in England, some in Australia. There are some good people. And it's also good to read some books about healthy relationship and about addiction, because if you have abuse, for example, one of the things you can do is be addicted, because it's so painful you want to distract from your feelings. And so you can learn about distractions and addictions. Some people cut themselves. Some people have tantrums. Some people drink too much or smoke too much, or take opium or heroin to try and escape from very painful feelings. And the best way to escape from painful feelings is to find people who love you, who care about you. It's not just a word. It's easy to say the word love, but who will listen to you, who will ask you, what do you need? How can we help you? And have a balanced relationship where you help them and they help you. So, well, Jen's a little uncomfortable, so she's going to leave the video for now. So I have created some videos called A Year of Well-Being, and it's a little bit mental and a little bit American, so it's something you could learn a little bit on your own and see if it's a good topic for you. I also want to say that I find it useful to leave school in order to develop my own business when I was 17. Now, you should make your own decision about what's good for you. What I decided was that the topics I was learning in school were not very useful. And two, that I learned better on my own. I learned by experience. And so I ask successful people in the world to please talk to me and help me, or can I help them and grow by doing things? So just be aware that that is a possibility, and you can study self-designed homeschooling, and you can ask yourself, what topics do I want to learn that will be useful for my future? And some topics that I studied is about the environment, how to create a better, healthy environment, how to cook good food. Everyone likes to eat good, healthy food. So if you study how to cook good food, it's a great, useful topic. How to sell something. When you are in business, or even if you get a job, you are selling something. You are selling your skills, you are selling a product, a service. So if you learn how to sell something, and Brian Tracy, if you look on YouTube, Brian Tracy, The Art of Selling, very useful skills. How to manage money, how to start a small business, other useful topics. How to have good relationships, how to have a successful marriage, how to have good friends. These are good topics. Everyone needs friends. Everyone needs to have a good relationship. how to meditate and think positive thoughts. This is a good skill. And you will need it your whole life. So you need friends your whole life. You will need money your whole life. You will need healthy food your whole life. You will have more freedom if you have your own business rather than working for someone else. And this is what I did since I'm 17 years old. I never work for anyone in my life. I start my own company. And it's not too expensive. You can start a company with 1,000 pesos. But you need to have the skill, the learning, the confidence. And so this is a possible, thing for you to consider. And all of this is about growing your future. Now, what Jen and I are doing is a nonprofit, meaning this is not to make money. This is to help people. So this video here, you are not paying me any money for this video. You're not paying Jen. We are doing this because we hope maybe it will help you to have a better future. And so what we are interested in is helping people around the world. And my nonprofit is called Happiness Data. Now, there's different skills that are needed to help people with happiness data. One is creating movies. One is creating documentaries. One is editing videos. One is drawing, creating art. One is doing research and learning about different world sources. One is making videos, filming like dance or art. And one is having discussions as you learn things about what will help people to make videos about that, to have a channel to help Filipinos who need to understand some basic information. And so as you help Filipinos, if you make video content about what you're learning, if you learn something from me and you make a video in Tagalog on YouTube, other Filipinos will learn from that video. And so you can have a positive impact on your future and your country. It's very fun to do that. And then there's other things that you can do that build your flexibility and freedom. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the things. And Jen, maybe you can come back and talk about, bank account, passport, and things like that. So these are some of the practical steps that Jen took to improve her future.
So, obtaining all of my requirements take time and frustrations. Especially Philippines is the worst government processing of these documents. So I have my birth certificate of corrections and transferring my name into my father's name, and then obtaining all of my IDs such as SS IDs, and then from the NBI clearance, and going through my passports. Manila is the worst place that you will encounter to set an appointment for your passport. So I will be preferred to provinces like Palawan as a walk-in.
Yeah, Cebu is difficult. Manila is very difficult. But in Palawan, we got Jen's passport in just a few days. Mm-hmm. But the point is, it's a valuable tool. If you have a passport that you can now travel to different places. It's a power. It's a freedom that you have to increase your income, to gain more experience. It also helps you if you are forming a relationship with a foreigner. You can't go and visit them and grow your relationship without a passport. And it takes many months in the Philippines, usually. So, steps that Jen took were to get her passport, to get a bank account, and to get a PayPal account. Now, PayPal is a valuable thing. It allows you to buy things on Lazada. It allows you to receive money. For example, when I hire Jen to do some work for Happiness Data, I will send her money by PayPal, and then she can move it to her bank account and pull it out. Mm-hmm. So if you want to create work overseas, and this is a very important area because there are many people around the world that need help with graphic design, with whether it's designing a business card or making a presentation, or Jen makes custom greeting cards. And if you can accept PayPal and have your own bank account, then you can go into an internet cafe and do some work and receive money from overseas from PayPal. Mm-hmm. So the place to begin is to invest in yourself with knowledge, with thoughts, with diary, and talk about yoga. What's the yoga that you're doing, and what's the positive and negatives of yoga?
Well, the positive of the yoga is it keeps you relaxed mentally and do your helps your days begin in good and comfortable muscles because you're stretching it very slowly. So negative is sometimes is the breathing is you need to control your breathing. If you don't control the breathing, it's makes your head pain, and sometimes it's there's a muscle will be in pain because it will stretch more and more, and then you just don't know that something says improving your muscle, your curves of your muscles. You can reach your toes, and that's part of that that I can share.
So what I want to invite you to do is take an initial step to start investing in yourself and share how that works. Let us know. To take some steps and let us know how it works. You can write to Jen and also share some ideas if you'd like to help us with happiness data. And we look forward to hearing from you. And thank you for taking a step towards a positive future in your life.